Here we go. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Woo! We're so happy to be with you here today. And look who I have with me. I have beautiful Juno with me today, and she has
Look,
her
naked
own
hands.
channel. Yes, let's make some hands. Yeah,
No, I
let's
mean
make some.
naked hands. No
Oh,
gloves.
naked hands. Yes, yes, yeah. So at least for Halloween, you can put
Oh
them
yeah,
back
they're
on.
they're they're still gonna,
They're still
they're
useful.
gonna make
That's
an appearance now and then.
right. That's right.
And I'm working on a 2 camera setup so that you can get the best of both that way.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Nancy Jean does that with
Yeah.
her garden and other things that
Yeah,
she
Jane
does.
the Seeker. That's where I saw. I really liked the way she had hers done too. So
Okay.
she told
Well,
me what she was
wonderful.
using, and now it's like, okay, find the mental time to do that, figure that out. But
That's the hardest part, isn't it? Just finding the time to
well, in the
spend.
mental, it takes focus. Like I
Yeah, it
ran into a
does.
glitch. What's that word? A
That's a
glitch
new
with
one.
Canva that the
Okay.
audio wouldn't load to my videos when I was making them, and it took me 2 days of back and forth just because you write to them and then they might get back to you in an hour. It's a ping pong
Yeah.
match till you find. And
Yeah.
but you
You're
just
brave
then
to
you gotta
use it.
go.
I
Then I
won't
gotta
even
go.
use
I
it.
can't do computers for a day. I can't figure that.
Yeah.
I just need a
Yeah.
breather. I'm not
No.
like the young kids that just go, oh, you silly old lady. You
Well,
don't know what.
it's kind of like me with my thumbnails. I have a thing that I can make. It's not Canva. I can make some thumbnails with, but I
Mhm.
only have a certain amount a month that I can use. But
Right.
Canva and me don't get along at all. So
Oh, okay.
it doesn't work and I'm not interested in
I
wasting
know.
the time.
I
So
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome everybody, and thanks again for being here. So let's say hello to some of our friends. We have with us today Karen Doyle. Yay, Karen. Whoops, what happened? I'm getting a lot of glitching. Okay, we have Butterfly Kisses. Hi.
Right.
And we have Sherry. One of the people, Sherry and Joan, two people that have met Juno in real life. That's
That's
awesome.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
We have Rooted Willow, and we have Carl coming in from the Philippines. Hi,
Hey,
Carl. It's
Carl.
good to see you. And we have CJ here, and Jules learning to listen,
Hey, Julie.
and Martha Bean, and we have Sue Toffee from Australia. Nice to see you, my dear. And we have Ness, and we have Teacher Barbara. I hope you're enjoying your time away from working, Teacher Barbara, and getting some chance to go to the beach there in Florida.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
let's see, Deb B. Kane. It's wonderful to
Hey,
see you.
Deb.
Yes, Carl. It is. I thought it was your first time with Juno, so yeah. So
Nice to meet
welcome
you, Carl.
everybody. Yeah. All right, Ness. We'll get to it. We are going to be talking first this morning about some Native American stuff. And both of us have kind of a very interesting background to share with you. Um, and let's just say this: we feel it was divinely inspired because it just fell in our laps what we were looking
Yeah.
for. So we'll just put it that way. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we'll take some questions from the chat. We'll be happy to answer some questions for you. Just be patient with us if you wouldn't mind. So I am going, by the way, Juno's has a channel, and it's the Junosphere 3333.
Hmm.
And I don't put the links in the chat
Right.
because people are having difficulty and they end up dropping. So
Yeah.
if you put Junosphere 3333, you can find her channel and subscribe. That would be wonderful. She
That'd be
would love
great.
that.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to start off with talking about the Hopi prophecies. And I learned about them in the 90s, although they've been around for quite a while. And they were prophecies that were made by a group of Hopis that foretold certain events that would be coming to the earth. And I'm not going to go over all of them because it's in itself, it would take a show or more.
Hmm.
But I will tell you there are a couple of them that stood out to me, and one was that our country at some period in time, they said, would have webs around it, and they figured it was, and they would also have communication, like a communication device. So I'm thinking telegraph, telephone, television, power lines, and now I'm thinking internet. Because
Yeah.
web is they also said that there would be a very large type of, I don't know if they thought it was like Dune. If you ever watch Dune, you see the big cat or the big caterpillar or whatever. But they said that it would be going across the plains. And so what they were talking about was trains. So, and this was before all of that. Yeah. And that's just part of it. It's just really, really interesting. Hi, Dr. Ann. It's good to see you. Hi, Mary Thornberry. Welcome. So I was looking for some information I wanted to share with you this morning, and I came across a Hopi Elders Prophecy, June 8th, 2000. So 24 years ago, this was written. And as we know, time is not linear. Time is more catch as catch can, because we've been looking at the age of Aquarius really since the 70s. I remember singing all of those songs.
Let the sun shine in,
and now we're finally in the age. So it's been a while. It builds up. So here is what they were saying there at that time, and I think it's even more important today. You've been telling people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell people that this is the hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It's time to speak your truth. Create your community. I love that.
Wow.
Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for your leader. Then he clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, "This could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they're being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourself, banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we have been waiting for."
Wow.
And when I found it, I got chills, but now I got chills even more.
I know, I do too. Oh.
Yeah. And it's so very, very important for us. It's just so important for us to remember that we can look at some of the bad things, and sometimes it just helps to vent about some of those bad things.
Yeah, you got to let out the steam.
Turn around and turn the other way, and realize really just how lucky we are, especially to have found each other.
Well, and all the things that they talked about were all simple things. They were all things that are doable, within everyone's ability. They don't require spending money or anything like that.
That's right. That's right. So, Mary, I love that. The river is the vessel that the water bearer is spilling out on the earth, the age of Aquarius. See, so the water is so important to us. Yeah. I can't believe that I found this, but yet I know why I did. Everything is synchronistic. Everything is meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you put it into if you would like it, I'm going to post it on the show notes because
I was going to ask you, I'd like a copy.
And so people can read it again or whatever they want to do with it. Yeah. So I'll do that after the show is over. But now I'd like to turn it over to Juno, who wants to share what she found out today.
Well, thanks, Aley. It's such an honor to be back with you and, really seeing each other face to face. So this is special for me. And I just appreciate what you do for our community. You're the glue that holds us all together. You're part of that weaving of that web of all of us that are connected. So thank you for what you do. And thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
you had contacted me a while ago and had mentioned Native American things, and then I touched back in this morning because sometimes people shift what they want to talk about that day, or and I kind of have a broad spectrum of things to flap my gums over. So you said you reiterated the Native American theme, so I looked around, and I've just gotten to the point where it extends beyond talking to the crystals. I have other things. It's like, okay, so who wants to come forward? Who wants to be? Let's do show and tell with whatever I've got that could tell a story.
Yeah.
And my eyes landed on this flag that I have, and I bought it in 2009 when I went back to where I grew up, and it is Hiawatha's flag. So this came from the Cattaraugus Indian Reservation, which is south of Buffalo, New York, and this represents the nation, the five tribes of the Iroquois Confederacy, and I believe this is the oldest Native American flag there is, and it's purple and white, and that they made it out of shells from the quahog clam, and it's Quahod, but they pronounce it quahog, and it's a purple and white clam shell. So that's what, and I have some beads, but this all happened and I didn't have time to look for them before I got here. So seeing this flag led me to, okay, let's brush up so we have something intelligent to say and just hope you maybe remembered it right. And it has led me on quite a journey. Some of it, it's real private and can't share that part, but the rest of it is pretty interesting. So if you look at this, and you can see there's the squares, so each one of them represents a tribe. And the one on the farthest left is the Seneca, and they were the keepers of the western door. Then the next bigger square is the Cayuga. The one with the tree is the Onondaga, who were keepers of the central fires. The next one was the Oneida, and then the one on the other end was Mohawk, and they were the keepers of the eastern door. So that's what all those different symbols mean. And the white thread that runs between them, that is that line of connectivity between all the tribes.
Awesome.
So that led me to looking into Hiawatha. We all think we know, and we kind of remember that poem, and I got a lot of other things floating around in there. I haven't thought about Hiawatha in a long time, but I remember it was just that name Hiawatha is just so beautiful off the tongue, and I just loved it. Well, most people are thinking they're familiar with the Song of Hiawatha, and that was a poem written in 1855 by Longfellow. But that doesn't have anything it's very little to do with the real Hiawatha. That Hiawatha was, Longfellow's Hiawatha was an Ojibwa Indian. So that's more Great Lakes, like Michigan, and they even go up into Canada. But there was a real Hiawatha who was an actual person. And this, the story, this legend about him goes back to the mid 1100s, it said. So this is really old information. So it's really cool that that name is still with us all these, 1,000 years later almost. So Hiawatha was a pre-colonial Native American leader and co-founder of the Iroquois Confederacy. And he actually was a real person, like I said. And how the Confederacy came into being was through an eclipse. So there's another rabbit hole I haven't gone down.
Another one.
I know. Yeah. I'm just like, holy, it can only fit in so much.
I know.
This was so exciting when I read that. I thought, wow, and how connected they were. Of course they were,
Yeah.
So there was a leader at the time called Decanawanidice. Practice saying this, and it's not an easy one, but anyway. And this is funny because he had trouble. He had a speech impediment. So he was the great peacemaker, but he had difficulty expressing himself. So he needed someone to speak for him. Maybe because he had a hard time saying his name like I do. No offense meant at all. I came into this world with a really long name with very little vowels and lots of consonants. So, but he wanted to bring out this message of peace to the Confederacy because there was a lot of war going on, factions between these different Iroquois tribes. So there's a whole story about how he came upon Hiawatha, which I won't go into, but he was so impressed with Hiawatha that he designated him to be his speaker. So together they created the Great Law of Peace. And how they recorded that Law of Peace was in the wampum belt, the purple flag that was woven out of that. And that solidified the bond between all the original 5 nations of the Iroquois, which the ones that I mentioned when I showed the flag. So Hiawatha himself represents 3 different tribes: the Mohawk, the Onondaga, and the Tadodaho. Got that one out. Okay. So anyway, and the shells, like I said, they were the quahog shells, and sometimes that's where they got the white, but they also used these whelk shells, WHELK. That was what they made some of the white beads out of. So the story of the wampum, I just thought this was really interesting. I hope it's okay if I keep going.
Yeah, of course.
So the wampum figures into the story of Hiawatha. When he was full of grief because all his daughters had been murdered, the great peacemaker, the one with the speech impediment, gifted Hiawatha with these whelk shells. And he told him, put them on your eyes, ears, and throat. And shells were considered a sign of healing and of purity. So Hiawatha used these shells to create unity. So that's why they're in the belt. And the Iroquois nation believes that the peacemaker was the one who gifted them the first wampum belt, which was later titled the Hiawatha's belt. So I just love how there's, even if there wasn't a written history, there was in a way, and there's a lot of different, that's not the only belt that's done, you can find if you look in museums and stuff. And then when I went back home, I visited the Seneca Casino, which is on the shores of Lake Erie, and it's representation of all the, there's the
you
one.
can see it in the plate. Yeah, you can see it.
Wow. So
I have to tell you that Lori Hunsinger, when you showed the flag, she said that's the color purple of the writing she sees in deep meditation, and she's waking up to writing visions. See all the connections that are being made.
It's the web. It's like we pluck on that web, and then somebody feels the vibration, and their ear, you know what I mean? Their antennas go up, and they go, let's tune in. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
Just love it.
It is. And it just goes to show how time is so fluid, and things, they matter, and everything is so connected. That's wonderful. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So I know you have something else to show us too.
Do I? What else?
I think so. Were you going to show your beads?
Oh, do you want to see? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Well,
all right.
I get a couple of them. I won't get the vest is kind of hard to show, but so this is one of the first pieces. Well, this is the first piece I think I did big time, like beading on leather. One of the first ones, and it's a pipe bag. And this is a horseman flower design, and it's from the Blackfoot tribe. It's a little bit more of a modern, kind of a.
It's okay though. It's gorgeous.
Fringe on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I get the tinkle cones, and I have to listen to them and make sure they make just the right sound. They make these really cool belts, these leather belts with the tinkle cones. So when you walk, it's just beautiful. People hear you before they see you.
Well, I love that, and I also love the fact that in the 70s, a lot of our clothes were fringe. We had a lot of fringe.
Loved fringe.
Yes. Yeah.
And this one I studied. This is a Huichol design. The Huichol Indians, Huichol, down in Mexico. So this is their peyote flower design. And I was going to NAU at the time, and I had a course where I could study anything about Mexico, and I chose beadwork. And so I went to the library, and I found a book where this woman lived amongst the Huichol Indians, and she had documented all these patterns. So all that was on this pattern, you didn't even see a picture, would be like 2B, 1W, for two blue beads and one white, and then you would work out and you would find what it was. But this is their sacred peyote design. So it's
you are just amazing when it comes to that stuff, Juno. All the beautiful things. You're so crafty. No, really, it's a special gift. I think it's one of the special gifts that you can.
Thank you. It's an obsession. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why I live alone, because I have to have all my art stuff around me and do these things. But it's not done on a loom. It's all hand woven, netted. So that's. And since I started this, let me see. I dragged it out here. I might as well get it.
Yeah.
It might be hard to see the whole thing at once, but this is a vest that these are all beads.
Oh, I know. That is so gorgeous.
And it's a cradle board design from the 1880s. And these are reproduction colors, the greasy pink and the greasy yellows and all that. So.
So I love that.
This would be more floral pattern like the Great Lakes tribes. But
wow. So Mary says the Iroquois Confederacy is the oldest living participatory democracy in the world.
Exactly.
And it is later mentioned that it's nice to know that we, Lori says, that we have this. It makes you more hopeful for what the future could be.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
And my children, I don't know if I meant, but they're part of the Iroquois Confederacy. I married into the tribe. So
beautiful.
And they're Wolf Clan. So I always feel connected to I always did even before I knew all that, but it's just a great honor, all of it. And I love studying, so much. I've done things for like, the reenactors that wear the gauntlets, with the horseback, and I've done all kinds of different commission beadwork stuff.
I knew you were the Native American queen. I knew it. I just knew it.
My injection. So
I think that it's interesting that there are so many people that don't have any Native American blood or haven't married into the Native American community that feel called to their beliefs and their ideas and so on, just because it is so beautiful and nature-based, and it makes a lot of sense.
And it's simple. And, you know what I mean?
It is simple. Yeah. Yeah. You're
it's
absolutely
really amazing.
Right.
And I know, like, when I grew up, I lived next to a reservation, and probably a third of the students were Native American, I would say. We had a large population. We didn't have any other we didn't have any Hispanic people or African Americans, but we had a lot of Native Americans.
Yeah.
And I remember going to kindergarten, and when I laid my eyes on the first little Native American boy I ever saw in my life, it wasn't a little girl crush. It was like, there's my people, and I can't explain it. Who feels? Who knows that?
I get it.
But I never forgot that feeling.
Sure.
And it's
I understand it.
So I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just when that's how what you resonate with. Why does it have to? There's a lot of people I know who, what's the word I'm looking for? Abuse it or use it improperly.
For their own gain. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's not. I just have such a love for all things Native American. So
yeah. So Julie says that her kids are indigenous, and sometimes we walk the line. Sometimes we have strong guides too. Now that's an interesting comment. So there you go.
That has meaning for me today, Julie. So
it does. It has meaning for Juno. When I was telling Juno backstage that in I think it was late October, 1992, I lived in Panama City, Florida, and I had a group of people who were teaching me about the Native Americans. And the lady that was my main teacher, she was Zapotec Indian. So she's from the Mexican. Yeah. But she knows, there's a lot of similarity. And so she taught us about medicine wheels and vision quests and, and smudging and all that stuff at that time. Well, we went up to northern Alabama because they're having a huge powwow with Sun Bears people. He was a very important leader probably around that time, but he had just passed. And I'm standing there with all my people. Even though I'm not one of them. And I was welcomed. There was no, and as I stood there, we stood around in a circle. It was cold. We were wrapped in blankets. But we felt really alive at the time. And it was that weekend that my father transitioned. And I was telling Juno, what a beautiful place to be when that happened to him, because he was so far away. And I don't think I've ever had a more beautiful experience, even with losing somebody, of course, because it was like I was with these people and they helped me sort of cross over, and they were celebrating Sun Bear, who had crossed over.
Right. So that was the energy of the moment.
That was the energy.
Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Absolutely.
Those things are not a mistake. They're
not at all
to have it line up like that.
Yeah,
so
they are. Yep. And Sherry says that that's how you felt when you heard Native American music. Oh yes, I love the flute. So many beautiful.
I saw Carlos Nakai. He came down here in southern Arizona. This was maybe
Ooh.
2000. No, I think it was 2008 because it was the year I had a big birthday, and he came to this little tiny venue outdoors, and I mean, I sat like 10 feet from him, and it was just
Yeah.
amazing. And outdoor, it wasn't a building;
Yes.
it was a nice,
Right.
just a beautiful setting in the desert. But some music, there's some Native American music, I can't even. It makes me just weep. I
Oh,
just,
yes.
it's touching such a nerve. And then, even, and it's not that even the words, because sometimes I don't even know what the words are. And it's not that they're maybe telling a sad story, but it's like I tell people, okay, I can't play that. I can't hear that right now.
Yeah. I get it. No, I get it. I do.
And I don't know really, like sometimes I have a hard time watching Native American shows, even though I love all that, but it's it's like a raw nerve,
It is a raw nerve. When I was learning about the Trail of Tears and read all about that, I mean, just the things. But I think what surprised me most was it was really my dad who talked to me. He only gave to one charity. And, we're talking about a white man that lived in the East, nothing about Native American. He would give to the Native Americans every month. He'd send them a check. And I said, at the time, I remember saying, Dad, how come why did you choose that? He said, they have had a bad rap. They weren't treated well, and they need this money more than anybody does. And that's way before all this casinos and all that other stuff. Right. And then Dances with Wolves came out, and that blew me away, that movie. Yeah. So, there's just so many beautiful things that their teachings offer us that it's wonderful just to hear a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Hi, Valerie. It's good to see you. Welcome, Judy Stitches. Kelly's here. Oh, we got lots of people coming in. Oh, you haven't watched The Killers of the Flower Moon yet, Jules? It's okay. But
I have no desire to watch it. I don't even know what it's about. I know the name and I know it's a native-based thing, but like it's just too much. Yeah. And if it's Dances with Wolves, to me, I mean, I love that movie too.
That to me is the epitome of.
And Little Big Man was a good movie. With Dustin Hoffman is the contrary.
And look at this. Diana currently is braiding sweetgrass in the Lakota.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Lucky girl.
All right. So let's see. It's a connection to the goddess, at the ancient goddess energies. They are now awakening to levels. We are blessed to be alive. In 75, Congress expressed gratitude to the Iroquois Confederacy and other Native American nations for the demonstration of democratic principles. Thank you for sharing, Lori and Mary. That is very important and just really adds to the conversation that we're having.
Well, I think it was Benjamin Franklin or somebody that's where they got the idea, because the Iroquois didn't have a chief. They have sachems that were like the senators today, so everything it isn't like they had a king or, that idea. It was very different. And that's what led them to make the government. It has a lot to do with
the way it worked. Yeah. To the way
it was an inspiration for.
That's awesome.
And it makes me extra proud that that's my children's heritage and my grandchildren's heritage,
Yes,
absolutely. I was totally ostracized because I went that route, but I wouldn't change a thing.
I understand. I'm glad you did. It really has. I would say that especially at the time you did it, it wasn't that people did ostracize. But now I don't know if it would be so much as it would have been, because I'm guessing that this maybe was in the 70s. Was this the 70s or the 80s?
Yeah. In the 70s. We were high school sweethearts. And
yes, absolutely.
It was, I can remember like maybe 10 years before that was when they legalized different races to be able to be married. So it was pretty fresh. When I was little, that wouldn't have been, when I was really little, you couldn't even consider it.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, you couldn't date. Well, I couldn't even date as a Protestant. Wasn't allowed to date a Catholic.
Right. Exactly.
That's what we grew up with.
Much less a Jewish person or something. Anything.
Right.
You stay right in your lane, honey.
Yeah, you stay right here with a waspy husband. Anyway, I think it's wonderful, and it certainly has broadened your life in a lot of beautiful ways. And it's nice to know. I did not even know that about about your children and grandchildren being partially Native American, you know,
Yeah,
mostly.
their dad was full blood. So yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right. Sherry says many of us are drawn to it because of a past life. Yeah, I agree with you, Sherry.
Sure.
I think, yeah.
Well, even when I was in high school, junior high and high school, and I was a white girl, you know, and even the other kids in school, I had a Polish last name. They still thought I was Indian. So
did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't, you know,
guilty by association. Were you dating him then? Maybe that's
no. This was even before that.
Before
you know.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
But it was just that it was based on my appearance or something. I don't know what it was, but and I've been doing beadwork since I was like 10 years old, I think, is when I started. And
again, I really when I wrote you and I said I want to do this topic because you're the queen of the desert, so to speak, you know. And you're like, I said we're all queens, but I always have looked toward you in that idea. So
wow. Well, that's it makes my eyes water. Thank you, Aley. That means a lot because it's my heart. It's not a put on. It's not a which I wish I was want to be. It's just a huge reverence for the people.
That's what it is. It is. It's a reverence. And I know that Dr. Ann lives down in New Zealand and the Maori, you know, and the tribes of the Maori. Is it Maui or
Maori?
Maori.
Yeah.
Thank
you. It's Maori, but I think this. Yeah. I've heard it Maori, but neither here nor there.
And I have found that that's fascinating. Have you watched them do that dance?
I know. I love it. Yeah.
They do all sticking out of the tongue. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. And then, you know, and they do, I think it's in New Zealand. And because my friend Sarah, the Jinshin Jitsu, my mentor, she went to New Zealand to teach.
Oh.
And she had an experience where they go forehead to forehead with you, you know. And
yes.
And you know, like third eye to third eye. And
wow.
It's really, really powerful. So
yeah, absolutely. Oh, good. Yes, Dr. Ann. That's right. You pronounced it right. Yeah. Absolutely. Hi, Chris MK. We're glad you're here.
I met Chris too. We know each other. She lives in Tucson. Her name is Sylvia. And I just love her. She's just a doll.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I love hearing that. So, but just so everybody knows, in the beginning, I read an updated Hopi prophecy that came out on June 8th, 2000. And I'm going to copy it and put it in the show notes for you to read. It's really, really wonderful. And it just tells us how this isn't the 11th hour. This is the hour. And that was 24 years ago. So we were even closer to the hour. We're in the hour.
We're in the hour. Yeah.
We're in the hour.
The hour is all around us.
All around us.
Hour.
It's our hour.
And if you'll send me that, I'm going to do, I'll make a video of the Hiawatha, the Song of Hiawatha poem, because it's so beautiful. And I'd like to also do one with that, what you have the Hopi prophecy. I'm going to make a video of that too.
Oh yeah. It's so nice.
I think that would be, I feel drawn to do that. So.
All right. We are here now. That's right, Mary. So it's called the Haka War Dance before rugby games. It's a cultural icon.
Yeah.
You're drawing in the breath of the other person head to head when you do that. That's interesting, Ann.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Oh, I'm so glad, Chris MK or Sylvia. I know so many people's real names now, and sometimes I wonder, some people don't want to use their real name, and that's anyway. Yeah. Oh, blue Katja shall appear. Wowee. That's great.
That's interesting, Well Painter. You got to follow up with me. Text me about that, because I have something I need to tell you about that.
Kachina.
Kachina.
Oh, this is very nice, Julie. Yes. No, you want to instill pride in your kids and grands, and you should. They need to stand tall and proud if they are Native American. There's nothing more American than Native American.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They're
hard pressed to.
You'd be hard pressed to not do. Yeah. All right. So thank you for listening for the first half hour. We will take some questions. I have Ness and I have Carl Hees here. And we'll take maybe 4 or 5 other questions if you want to put them in, and spend the next half hour doing that. So
cool.
Thank you. Yeah. All right.
Thanks
So
everybody for being here. We love seeing all the people.
we love seeing all of you. And those of you who just came in, thanks for coming. It doesn't matter what time you come in. We appreciate you being here. So
and watch the replay too if you don't, if you don't,
yeah,
can't be here.
Right. And for those of you who are new and do not know who Juno is, her channel is Junosphere 333. I don't put links in the chat because they make it go away, but you can go right in to put that in there and like and subscribe to her channel. She's fabulous. Some of her older ones, you'll only see her little hands, but she has come out and showed us her beautiful face. So welcome.
Only took 2 years,
Yeah. But we all fell in love with you anyway, Juno.
You were all very patient with me, and I appreciate it. And it's past life stuff that I got over. I found out one of the clients I've, for a reading, she's a genealogist, and she found out that she and I are related, and she and I both share a great grandfather, however many years back, who was John Rogers, who was burned at the stake, literally, and washed his hands in the flames, and so it's like, okay. I just shed a little bit.
You and I have talked too about having relatives.
Yeah, because my grandmother's family came from your hometown, I think, and so it's all it's all connected. But that it's like I feel like every time I go through something like that, a little layer of healing occurs.
Yeah, it does.
That, and this was a big one.
All works in progress.
Yeah, and Akasha Bob told me if you don't get over this camera phobia, and this time you're just going to take it with you to the next lifetime. So pull up your big girl panties and get over it. Not that Bob would say that, but that I'm paraphrasing Bob. He would probably be all blushing if I said that. But
I never have liked my voice, but I've gotten used to it now. So
yeah. Me too.
I can't change it, so why
not? Yeah, exactly. On age, you're like, no, well, screw it. This is it.
All right. So,
and it was really funny. If I was still really thin, I actually have an entire skeleton costume. I had head to toe, literally, totally covered head to toe with skeleton. And if I was skinny enough, I was going to play around with just doing that. But I like chocolate too much, so that didn't happen.
I get it. So let's go ahead and read for Ness. She would love a message. It's been a hard 12 hours. Well, I just saw you last night. You've had a problem after that? I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, you too, Vicki. Gerald, we're glad to see you, my dear. I'm finally going to I've had to waylay a show with Gerald and Richie, and we're going to be together Friday. And so come and see us. Yeah. All right. What do we got for you? Ooh. All right. So I first get, Ness, that you are working with your ancestors and your relatives because you keep dreaming about them. You've been places with them. So the ancestors, they're carrying you in lots of ways, and they're just saying that they want you to know they're there. As you can see in this picture, they're illuminating and they're standing behind you. So I'm getting that. The second one I get is you are working in your sacred purpose. Don't ever doubt it. Don't worry about it. It's all there for you. It's all laid out. You're going to be fine. But what's going on, maybe what just happened to you was possible shadow work. We do have shadow, and look at the way that it comes in. And last night on the dream show, when you were talking about that voice, that inner critic, that's part of the shadow work you're still doing. So I think you're still getting rid of that, honestly. So give yourself a break.
Yeah. And it takes time doing shadow work. Like another thing with layers, you're going to think, oh, now I feel so much better. I got rid of that. And then, a year later or something, it's, there's another piece of that. I lingering.
That's right.
There.
Oh, I spoke too soon, right?
With my spiritual floss to get all of it out, So for Ness, I pulled 2 cards, and this is from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. And the first card is card 12, Dragon's Hoard, Protecting the Future.
Oh.
And I just thought this was interesting. It said, this is a time to be bold and do not delay or overthink. And remember to bring an offering for the dragon. It says, because you don't want to be his lunch. And it says just a simple prayer will do. So this is telling you, step forward boldly, just say a little prayer before you do, and visualize that dragon being a helper rather than being something that's a threat to you. And then I love this card. I think it might be my favorite one in this whole deck is joyful music. So, if you're feeling out of sorts, put on some nice music and fiddle your worries away, so they say.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. And
there
then
you go. I love that.
If you're feeling worried, hold your thumb. If you're in fear, hold your index finger, and you can hold them both at the same time. And a lot of times that can help get you through. I do this in the dentist chair. Anytime I'm having a procedure, I'm white knuckling it, but boy, does it help. Oh, wow. That's like my worst fear. So.
Wonderful. Oil Painter says, was that your train or mine? Still brain. That's a good one.
The caterpillar. It was the love caterpillar.
It was a train of thought. There you go.
I call it the love train. I used to, when I first moved here, it was like, okay, then I realized I'm going to just throw my emotional, mental baggage. Like every time the train goes by, I throw a bag of garbage on there and say, take it away. I'm not going to think about that anymore. Then it says, no, now I'm the love train. So every time it comes by, it's the love train.
People all over the world.
That's right. Join hands. Drop your cards.
Viviani says, what deck are you using, Juno?
Hi, this Viviani. Is the Shaman's Dream. Here's the book.
Oh, yes. It's a great deck. Yes. Good deck. Yeah. Awesome. And I know somebody else snuck in. Oh, it's Patricia Franzino. Hi, Patricia. It's good to see you too. Yeah. And
I'm still on the last leg. I still have to get my new modem and upgrade my internet, and then everything is a go. I think I've worked out all the other bugs. So hopefully, guys, bear with me. I'm not ignoring anybody. It's just until I have everything's going, I don't want to make appointments till I know it's working. So
no, it
takes me a while to learn all this background stuff.
Yeah, but you're doing it. You're doing it. You've come a long way.
I'm not going anywhere. I honor all the things. All the offers are still valid. And it'll be worth it to wait for me when I've got it all together, because you'll get a better reading, you'll get a better recording and all that. It'll be more worth it, I feel.
All right. So will my friend Ronnie give me advance payment this week for a job he's hiring us, or Oliver finally pay me back? By the way, Orange has 3 kitties and is fine, but I'm told it's not yet time to see her. Oh. Okay, Carl. Yeah, he lost his little orange cat that he calls Orange, and she was pregnant. So I'm glad the kitty cats are okay, and it will be time to see them when the right time comes for you. So advance payment. So we have to, I'm going to pull one card for whether you'll get the advance payment, and one card for Oliver paying you back. How about that?
Yeah, I did that, and I'll start since I got them pulled already, Aley. Is that okay?
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay.
Because I did the same thing you just said. So, Carl, for your first question about if you're going to receive the advance payment, I got the High Priestess, and this is the Horse with No Name deck. We're talking about the Desert Queen and all that, and there's only has the major arcanas. And I'm going to read it, and then I'll show you the card, but I can't do both at the same time. It says the desert's mystery and the secrets it holds, like the silent sky with no clouds, reflected the enigmatic energy of the High Priestess, inviting introspection and the seeking of inner wisdom. So traditionally, I would say the High Priestess it's an unknown at this point. So I don't think that, according to this card, this is not a yes or a no. It's still an unknown on that one. And then,
okay.
But on the second one, it says for Oliver paying you back, I pulled the Sun card, and it says, sorry, I gotta take my glasses off. The joy of being out of the rain and the vibrant life despite the harsh conditions reflect the sun's positivity, vitality, and the clarity that comes with daylight. And so traditionally, the sun is a yes card, or, a good indicator of a positive outcome. So, just going by what the cards say, I would say the first question is unknown, and the second question, it looks pretty optimistic that you're going to get paid. Keep us posted. And it's orange, too. Kind of an orangey card, so that goes along with it.
Which reminds me, everybody's supposed to wear orange on July 11th for a very good reason.
There you go.
There you go. All right. So I'm getting the theater mask for the first one, which is, it's like a conflict. It's like it's more duality, like there's no answer. It's like a toss of the coin card. So I'm not sure about Ronnie giving you that. But I'm hoping that this one says Oliver will try to work things out and give you the money that he owes you.
Or you can hammer him for it.
Yeah.
I don't mean
hammer
that
time. It's hammer time, Carl.
Yeah.
Can't touch this.
That's right. And those pants. Oh my God, those pants.
Oh, I know. Yeah. My daughter used to dance to that, and we videotaped it. It's so silly at this point. It's, she's in her 40s now, and she doesn't want to watch it.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right. So Sue Toffee would like a general reading from her guides for June, July. All right.
So this is if you guys want to see what that deck is, it's the horse with no name. And like I said, it's small. It's only the major arcana, so it's not the whole deck. But I really like it. I like the artwork on it.
That's cool. All right, let's see. A year and a half? It's been a year and a half, Carl, since you got your... Oh, my God. That's all right. I gave $5,000 to my sister-in-law. I think it was that much in 2008. I still haven't gotten it back.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first card I get for you, Sue, is Spirit Echoes. And it says the past, resonance, memory, return, and messages. It wants you to listen to the divine. So it's asking you to listen, and you can listen more than through your hearing. You can see the signs around you. You can hear a song. You can, there's so many things that come up and sometimes I ask for a sign of something, and I don't make it really impossible, but I don't make it something that happens every day. It probably would work out. But I would say you need to make sure you listen to the divine through your dreams, through any visions that you might have, or those signs that come to you. And that's going to be important.
Is that both?
That's it.
Okay, cool. For Sue, I pulled 2 cards from the Shaman's Dream. The first card is card number 6, the Cosmic Womb and the Divine Feminine. Sorry, guys, we'll figure this out here. You can see that. Just kind of a nebulous cloud, but tuning into the Divine Feminine and being okay with that. I'm feeling a lot of, not necessarily just directed at Sue, but just lately in general, suffragette energy coming through. Just hold on to that. And we all have to, I think all of us women kind of need to have that mindset. That,
we do. Even, no matter where we are on the planet, she's down under, and they need it just as much as we do. Yep.
And speaking of that, I had a reading with Priscilla one time with the Crone Zone, and she saw me as a suffragette, and then she saw, she said jujitsu or something like she talked about martial arts, and there was actually a thing called suffragitsu.
Oh, wow.
And it was a martial art for the suffragettes. That's an actual thing. So it's like, I mean, of course, it's not the same thing as jitsu, but it's very close. And people, so I just thought that was pretty.
I've done jujitsu. It's all the shorter, the smaller, like close moves.
Yeah, micro movements almost, right? Like small, yeah. And then the second card I got was card number 30, the Horseman, a Herald of Change. So this is a really good card. This is heed the horseman when he shows up once, for he bears good news and is announcing a prosperous and peaceful time. So, embrace the divine feminine and visualize this positive stuff, because even if all we're doing is holding that thought, if we can't get out and do whatever, we can't protest or we can't do whatever, keep those prayers, those thoughts coming, and hold that. If you're feeling bad about yourself and having a tough time, shift into, okay, it's time for me to step up and do something for all of us as a whole, and get out of my ego thing. It's, because sometimes we need to kick ourselves in the butt and say, time to get over, because whatever's going on, because I do it too. I was doing it this morning, why is this happening?
Yeah.
Back off, leave me alone. But, then you shift and you get into something else. And the next card up was the joyful music again. So here you go. Get that music going.
She needs that. She needs that, because she has to move. and she's stressed out about it. So
totally.
Good.
Well, there you go.
Good
But it's
news.
going to be okay, you know, by that card, because that's a card of movement, that horseman, and it's also, you know, it's how you get there. It's going to be great.
Yep, it is.
Just be patient.
All right. So look at this. Craig Dixon says, "Hi, Aley. Hi, Juno. Is that you?" Yeah, it is our Juno. Yeah. Thank you.
He talks about coming down here sometime, maybe swing by and we'll meet each other.
Oh, yeah. He's not really that far from you. I mean, you know, maybe 6 to 8 hours, but, you know, not really that bad.
I'd go to Santa Fe in a heartbeat. I love Santa Fe.
Oh, I bet you would. I bet you would.
I've been there a few times.
I would too. Yep. All right. So we want a message from the elementals for Sonia Pinola. So let's see what we can.
Elementals. I don't have a strict elemental card, but I'll go to the Mystical Shaman Oracle. We'll see.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Say.
I'm going to pull out my Elemental Empath card.
Oh, there you go.
These are going to be.
I have a Druid deck, but it's got the.
Oh, nice.
For long. Oh, let me see. I can do that while you're. Thanks for being patient.
Sure. That's one thing that our community is very, very much patient. All right. So I got the elementals of the rising of the Phoenix. Look at this beautiful picture. It says death and rebirth, and you know what it means. It's not necessarily physical death, but the death of a situation, the death of a cycle. But from that rises the phoenix that comes out of the ashes of that. So this is saying transformation, a new self or cycle, release any resistance that you have, and know that you are heading into the right place where you need to be in divine right timing. The next one is, once you get there, the old yin and yang, balance. You need to do your balance, which is vital. And it says all is connected, balance extremes, inner and outer. So in your arrival or in your work that you are doing in your new cycle, make sure that you balance the physical with the spiritual, the, whatever else integrated into. We're moving away from duality. We're moving more into unity. But in order to get there, we have to bring those pieces together. And it's important first to get the balance, and then it will hopefully stay in that unified balance, even though I know we're human. So we tend to sometimes go back.
Cool. Okay. So I can't, I'm at that age, glasses on, glasses off.
Oh, you're not alone.
It's a matter of inches. So the first card I pulled is, and this is, again, the Mystical Shaman Oracle, and it's the card of flow, which reminds me of what Aley was talking about with the Hopi prophecy about the river. And it says, this is not a time to try to push against the river or swim upstream. You can trust that when the time is right, your dreams will begin to take shape, and you will be invited to dance with destiny. Right now, however, you must relax. So I would say just focus on your, breathing and manifesting what it is that you want. To come forward, and you are the luminous warrior. Okay.
Wow.
So the luminous warrior is not doing, this is not about doing battle. This is doing it, using your light work, just showing, glowing your light out there. The light is, let the light do the work. Let the light protect you and send out your message. It's telling me, like, the frequency that it gives off. Your light is really important, and know that you are a warrior. Step into that divine feminine energy.
Beautiful.
Go with the flow.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I'm just looking to see if there was anybody that had any comments. Thank you so much. So thank you, Sonia. I hope that helps you. We got Vicki Howell. And Vicki, I'm going to pull, I forgot I had this. I'm going to pull from this one, which is Wild Woman Rising. And she's Native American. So there you go.
I like that deck.
I know, it's a beautiful deck. It really is. Yeah.
We're so fortunate to be able to just have all these different beautiful images run through our hands and study them. Yeah. And just think it's amazing.
We are. All right. So for you, Vicki, the first one I get is hold true to your vision. And this card is kind of funky because she's got something hanging down in between her vision, her eye, and even blocking the third eye. But she's not concerned about it. She has a very unconcerned face. In other words,
through it, right?
Yeah, she says, "I'll get through this. You know, I maybe blinded in a few things, but I'm okay. I'm going to hold forward. I know what I want, and I'm focused, and I'm going to get there." And the second thing is to gather your tribe. And look at this. You've got the bear, you've got the fox, you've got the owl. Oh, and is that no, I thought it was a skunk. But look at, there's a snake around her wrist.
It's a badger. Looks like maybe.
Or okay.
On the other side of her head from the fox, is it like a badger?
Oh, you're right. It is a badger. Thank you. It's hard to see because it's white with a black stripe. Okay. So yes, in other words, gather your tribe, your regular people, but also all of the animals that work with you in order to give you what they call their medicine, which is what helps you, like bear medicine and owl medicine, wisdom, strength, power, wiliness with the fox. All of those things are there for you to do. So, yeah.
Very nice. Okay, here we go. Well, let's see. For Vicki, I went back to the Horse with No Name deck, and the first card is Judgment. The journey through the desert leads to a moment of judgment, a time for reflection, self-evaluation, and the understanding of one's place in the world.
Wow. So, that's gorgeous. Yeah.
Isn't that cool? So just figuring out where you are and, being okay, that's where you are. Wherever you are, wherever you go, that's where you are, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
To throw in a little Shinjitsu, if you do like the mummy hold where you place your hands here, this is Safety Energy Lock 22, which is happy and content wherever I am. So if you're ever feeling out of sorts or I don't belong here, or, this can really help. And it helps calm you down too if you're stressed. I was doing that this morning. Temperance is the second card. The traveler's adaptation to the desert's extreme conditions reflects temperance, the balance and moderation needed to survive and thrive in such an environment. So you've got what it takes to survive whatever it is that's coming, forward. And just,
that's gorgeous. And she is right now, she's away from home, but she's in the desert in Las Vegas.
Oh, look at that. There you go. Yeah. So, and if you think, the Judgment and the Temperance cards are very interesting together also.
It's a strong reading. Yeah, that's a strong reading. Yeah. That two major arcana. Yeah.
Well, these are all our major arcanas in this deck.
Oh, they are? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to let us pull, we're about 3 minutes for the hour. We'll pull one for the community, but I'm going to just put up this first because I wanted to share it. Lori says, I'm convinced that all of our souls have been together in other lifetimes. The higher realm is making sure we're walking this lifetime. Bring in the new age of oneness.
Yes.
How beautiful. Thank you, Lori.
She's so eloquent with her words.
She is eloquent. She is. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the red clay and coloring is also the coloring of the Hopi land. I love when the beginning of a show has the same them at the end of the reading. Like Val says, you can't make this stuff up. That's true.
Yeah, you can't. I had evidence this morning. It's
yeah, it's very true. Yeah. Hi, Mousy. I didn't see you come in. I'm glad to see you. Oh, gosh. All right. So this is a reading for the collective. And I'm sure it will infuse us with more Native American information. If you're feeling so inclined, it would be wonderful for you to do the deep dive at some point and do your own look at, what you might find interesting in the Native American world.
Exactly.
So hi, Denise McMullen. Oh, wow. I have never gotten 2 of these cards. Okay. So I'm going to say that the first card I got is for all of us. It says roar, and it's a 22.
Wow.
It's a number 22, and that is, of course, a master number.
Yeah, that's the architect.
It is.
11 is the visionary, 22 is the architect, and 33 takes it out to the world.
There you go. So we're the architects of our world that's coming, and we're in the middle of that right now. Look at that.
Build what we want.
Especially women, especially us women who have, we need to vote, we need to do everything.
Yeah.
The second one is listen the world open. Listen the world open.
Oh, I like that.
I've never gotten this card, and it's gorgeous.
Wow.
She's listening to the bird, but she's listening to the opening of the new world that's coming. She's very calm, and that's what the Hopi prophecy said with the newer prophecy in 2000, that we need to just stay calm and notice who's around us, and not be angry and not be frustrated, and get out in the middle of that river and allow ourselves to flow down it with our heads high. The last one I get is remember who you are. Oh, beautiful. Very important. Yeah.
Very important.
And I would say that this is, it's us. We remember things that happen. We remember, we all are we relearn whatever it is that we are learning, because we've already learned it probably once before. Now we need to know who we were and how we were, and remember we've come this far to be in this place.
Yeah. And focus on where we're going.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So first card I pulled is the Strength card. It says, the heat was hot and the ground was dry, yet the traveler endures, showing the inner strength needed to overcome the challenges of the desert. So that's like a line from that song.
Yeah. Been through the desert on a horse with no name. Yep.
Yeah. That song by America was the name of the group. But,
that's right.
Bring your strength that goes along with roar,
It does. It does.
It's going to be hot. We're in the middle of summer, and things are hot in a lot of ways, not just temperature wise, but
that's right.
Everything's lit up right now. So know that you'll get through it. And it's so cool that the next card was the Sun card. So there you go again. Just focus on the light. Stay positive. Keep the light around you. It doesn't mean if you're going to have moments. I had one this morning. Somebody triggered me. I fell off my perch a little bit, but allow that. And then, I took a shower that shifted it. Or if you feel like things are real, everything I do is everything's going wrong today. Stop, walk. If you're walking, stop. Receive a few breaths, and step out first with your left foot first, and that helps to break that pattern.
There you go.
So, instead of feeling victimized, like everything's going sideways or whatever, have these little tools on hand that you get them so they just immediately kick in. Okay, things are going a little sideways. Time to do whatever. Get under some water or whatever.
Shift your perspective if you can. Yeah. Oh wow, beautiful. Thank you, Juno. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat, and lots of really fun, interesting information. And I just found out today, I thought Hiawatha was a woman. So see, I learned something new.
So did I. But I think part of that comes from the poem and the way it was depicted.
It could be, yeah.
And it was a real person. I didn't, you kind of have these vague memories, but I hope we all learned something today anyway. I know I did.
I think we did, yeah. Much love, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.